himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Burroughs in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
Say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the out pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn, so there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to some of you, depending on where you're at in the world. Welcome to the season finale from Hickory Raceway here in the Triple Bypass SRX League. And yes, You are reading the name right. It is called the Resurrection 135. Why is it called the Resurrection 135? Well, that is a poorly kept secret that we shall share later, and I will share that with you when the time is right and when something is right. My name is Bradley Dalton. I'm going to be joined in the booth, not by James Parfit, but by another Brit who is up at incredibly early hours of the morning. Mr. Howie Burroughs will be joining me here. We'll bring him in the booth here in just a moment, but while we get things going, let's go ahead and take a look at the scores as it stands after 13 rounds. And yes, there's your Resurrection 135 logo. Steve McClendon has wrapped this championship up. Ben Harcum, Al Corey, Brad Kress. Well, they got something to battle about. They got P2 in the mix to battle with. Then you got Mr. Krispy Kreme, JC John Campbell, who's a few points back there in P number 5. James Honeycutt not too far behind him, though, only 2 points. And Mr. Naj Crutchley there in P7. Then you got Matt Harmon, Jason Benson, and Matt Parasini, your top 10 here in this SRX Season 5, a season that's went on dirt, a season that's been on the road, a season that's done ovals and super speedways, and a season that's done plenty of short tracks here as we go. You can see Mr. Brad Kress currently sitting at the end of the pit lane here. He is getting his run going. Let's go ahead and check out a very, very quick lap here. And yes, the Resurrection 135. And while this is Brad Kress going around, let's actually go find our race sponsor for the night, Mr. Matt Harmon here, who is going to be bringing his way around the qualifying lap for us. And he goes very, very quick, and we'll see how he runs. But that is enough of you hearing my beautiful voice here. I know I'm not a James Parfit, but doggone it, do I try. Let's bring in Mr. Howie Burroughs for the first time here with Triple ByPass. Howie, good evening. Good morning, actually, for you, sir. But good morning,
Indeed, definitely made it to the morning. Morning hours for this great event. 2 a.m. Perfect time to be here for such a fantastic finale. These SRX cars are an absolute joy, and it makes so much sense to bring them to one of the most historic short tracks in the entire USA. I'm looking forward to some incredibly fun, fair racing, but hopefully still some good tussling and battling.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun one to come in on, and if this is your first time here with Triple ByPass, you've picked a good race. We've got 13 cars putting in qualifying times. Let me refresh the overlay here really quick because it looks like it's looking a little bit weird for you. So let me go ahead and get that time on board to look halfway right here. We're watching James Honeycutt bring his way around. He's a driver that's done fairly well here this season and looks like he is going to do pretty well yet again here. Every time I've seen him in that SRX, and we've seen a lot of that through practice. We saw a lot of big pileups through practice of guys just getting a little antsy under the throttle. I'm gonna have to ask you, Mr. Howie, do we think that is a bad omen for things to come?
This is a tricky track. They call it where the NASCAR stars are born for a reason. Very little banking, very, very tight turns. Not a huge amount of space, but still plenty of opportunities to battle. And as ever on these short tracks, it's going to be very, very tire temperature based. You make a mistake, you slide, and you're going to be out of the running for quite some time. I'm looking forward to some real physical racing side by side. And these quite twitchy, quite difficult, but incredibly fun cars. I just picked them up a couple of days ago to try them, and I'm already in love.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I've driven them a couple of times myself, and I like that they're so versatile. They're cars that, again, you don't just have to take on these third mile ovals. You can take them and you can go and run, Nashville Super Speedway. You can run Eldora. There's so many different options you can run, but Hickory Motor Speedway is a good place to run this season finale here of this car track combo today. We got YouTube chat. Where 10 over under on yellows? I would say 8, and you predicted that 30 minutes before the stream went live. I'm gonna politely ask that you be wrong with that because I have a feeling that our friend over in another time zone is gonna want to get some sleep tonight here as it stands, almost 2 in the morning for him, 1 in the morning, whatever it might be. It's very early for him to be awake, so we'll see if that is the truth. I said 5, and well, I messaged Al Corey earlier, and what did Al Corey tell me? All he said is just, it's gonna be a long night. That doesn't give me a number, but I need a number from you, Mr. Howie. How many cautions will we have tonight?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the time because due to circumstances well out of this league, I've actually been living on the reverse time zone, and I actually came here because I knew I'd be able to wake up at 1 a.m. to make it here. So really, I'm as fresh as I can be. You could bring me in for 12 hours and I'd probably somehow power through the whole thing. Eight seems high, but I've not quite seen how these drivers drive. I know this is quite a tricky track. I'm feeling, what if I shoot for the middle and go for the 7, and then we all have something a little bit different going for each other?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if you're right in that mix. I mean, the worst thing that happens is you're wrong. We'll see who comes out on top. You don't get any prizes for being right or wrong in that, for the record. It's just something that we'll see what happens as we go through. Looks like drivers have put in laps, and I think we're just waiting on qualifying to time out here.
Do we have the times available? Looks like we do. Brad Kress putting it on pole. Very, very close to Kyle Gretsch.
There we go. Now the session's timed out. So let's pull up our results here, and we'll take a quick look at who has done what. And as you alluded to, Mr. Brad Kress and Kyle Gretsch running close. Kyle Gretsch's only SRX race too. He decided to show up just to give this car the love it deserves on the season finale. Again, the most poorly kept secret in existence. We'll see what happens here. If we get a caution, we'll pull in the boss man himself, Al Corey, and have the conversation. James Honeycutt, Ben Harkin, P3, P4 respectively. Sean Bradley, Steve McClendon, P5, P6. Al Corey starting 7th. Mark Herzog in P8. Matt Parasini, Naj Crutchley in P10. Matt Harmon, JC John Campbell, and Jason Benson in 13th place. So you got all your cars lining up on this grid to get ready to go. And 135 laps at, what was qualifying time? Pull that back up. 15 seconds a lap. I can't do the math on how long that should take if it stays green the whole time. I'm not going to try to do the math. It's 9 p.m. for me, but I went to bed at 7 p.m. yesterday, so we're a little past the bedtime from even me, which is impressive.
Without fall off, it looks like it's going to be about... It could be quite a short race without any of this fall off. It looks like it could be around 35 minutes if nothing happens, but I think a lot's going to happen. I think we're going to be here a little bit longer than that. Interesting to look at the championship state as it stands. Stephen McClendon's essentially locked in this championship, all without actually finishing P1 in a race along the way, but highly consistent across the whole championship. But behind him, Ben Harkham, Al Corey, and Brad Kress are all fighting for the next few positions. They've got less than 20 points between the 2nd and the 4th there. So really, starting track position is going to matter a lot, and that's why Brad Kress is going to love this 2nd on the road, being able to finish ahead of Al Corey. It's going to be a very big deal.
Yeah, this is going to be one that... it's kind of similar to the situation we had Sunday night. The championship's wrapped, and a lot of this is just for the blaze of glory, and Al Corey's coming off of a win Sunday. And I will tell you right now, if Al Corey gets a win again, I'm going to call this entire league rigged and biased towards Al. Sorry, Al, that's just how that has to work. You're Canadian. But we come around, pace cars off. Green flag gets thrown very, very quickly, and we're away here. Brad Kress, Kyle Gretsch, P1, P2 on the inside there. You got James Honeycutt, who is going to be trying to make a move. Behind that, Sean Bradley, Ben Harkham. Ben Harkham's going to run the high line here. I don't know which line is the preferred line, but it is short track racing, so I'd say you probably want to get single file to the inside if you can. Al Corey and Mark Herzog have already swapped positions in the background. Naj Crutchley trying to look high side here, but he has, of course, Mr. Harmon Racing there on the inside. He's going to get around. Naj has to give up the position, and up front, they have settled in single file. Kress, Gretsch, Honeycutt, Harkham, your top 4 as it stands. So very clean getaway early on, but we've seen the guys be very, very heavy on the throttle. Here we go. This is the move you're looking for. Herzog going around the outside there in the number 57 against McClendon in the 51. They're going 2x2 coming off the exit of 4, trying to hold on to it. And, well, I don't think 2x2 is the way they want to go early on here.
I think being on the outside is going to take a lot out of your tyres at this point. Kress got exactly the start he wanted, and he already feels like he's off right into the distance, getting that P1 advantage and really beating out Gretsch to the line. It's funny that Gretsch would show up and play spoiler on a little championship battle at the very end, but he seems fast, he seems talented around there, and he's pulled out even further ahead of Honeycutt behind, so I think these two are going to be tussling for quite some time until maybe the first caution.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And you see the little run there. There's Sean Bradley getting loose, and as he goes around, I believe that will be caution number 1 on the night. And Sean Bradley gets spun around there. He goes past, and let's take a quick look at what just happened to Sean Bradley. And I'll give you a hint. I think that was a little bit of his own doing here. If we can find exactly what just happened to him. There we go.
I think I made that one happen. I did just say the word caution.
No, the commentator's curse doesn't exist here at JP Broadcasting. This is just a case of things happen, but this is Sean Bradley up the inside with Ben Harcum. There is a little bit of a love tap that's been going on for a few laps there, as we see, and, well, I'm going to have to change this a little bit more here. So there's Sean trying to go up the inside. I believe this is the incident. He gets loose. He's coming around down the main straight. He's been trying to work that inside line the whole time, and I think eventually luck just ran out, and that sends Sean Bradley to the rear of the field here. Caution number 1 on the day already. Let's go ahead and see if we can't find the boss man himself, Al Corey, and see if he wants to share the news. Al, it's going to be Brad and Howie in the booth. How you doing?
Good. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a good copy. We're 9 laps in. Caution number 1 on the field. How's the car feel so far?
Super tight. Won't turn. It's so hard to get it to rotate middle of the corner. It's ridiculous.
Sounds like an absolute blast. And as you say that, I'm going to go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off. It's the Resurrection 135. Do you want to go ahead and disclose why we're calling it a resurrection?
Well, it has nothing to do with Jesus, Mary, or Joseph. It's the worst kept secret in TVP that the late model is coming back for season 6.
I'm excited to hear that, and you heard it straight from the horse's mouth. I'm going to send you back down because you're about to go green now. We'll catch up with you a little bit later, okay?
Roger that.
Quick cautions around here, Howie.
An all-time beloved classic. I have a feeling like my prediction's already off. It's all going to go wrong. It's all going to get off the wagon here.
Oh, everything's going to go upside down. Here we go. Fress back on the lead there. Gresh Honeycutt in the background. Keep it company. Everybody's getting a move going on early. Let's go ahead and get things moving and grooving down the backstretch here. Look at Mr. Mark Herzog in that beat-up old SRX trying to make a move. And then you got Harcum there around the outside trying to make a move. The drivers are getting pretty antsy early on, and, you know, it's not too bad, but it does seem like everyone's really just trying to find their way through. And you got a couple of guys that feel like they have pace early on.
That top line's looking terrible. Harcum just getting left out for dry and just losing track position on track position. But when the entire field wants you inside, what else are you going to do? You're just sort of pinned there and trying to desperately find the gap. No one wants to give that to you. Feels bad to be in that position, but as you can see, just the amount of track position that gets lost from hanging out there.
Yeah, he's going to have to kind of bully his way back down. I hate to phrase it like that, but that's really what he's going to have to do here, is he's going to have to just find a way to shove the car back down, but it really seems like he can't rotate it. Look at the exit there through 3 and 4. It seems like he just straight up cannot get the car to turn, and that the high line is really just his option. Don't know if that's a wheel issue or what that is. And yellow flag number 2 has occurred, and I have a feeling that this is for this little incident that I'm seeing.
Oh, not again.
No, that is off the race restart. Here we go. Jason Benson, this is who we're looking for. What did he do? It's so weird to see the rear snap off a 4 like, or into 1 like that. That's not how you normally see these cars snap off.
Depends on how people are running the brake bias. I mean, if you can't get the car to turn around here, I bet some drivers are being really, really aggressive with it just to get the car to do anything. So that could just be the cause.
That is true. No pit stops have been made here today. And as I look to remind myself, the answer to that is that the guys have 2 tire changes, 1 fast repair, Lucky Dog, and Wave Around is on. Only 2 tire changes for 135 laps, and based on what the guys were saying during practice, they were saying they did 70 laps and the tires were still like 90%. So I don't know if they'll really worry about tire changes. It might just be fuel.
Oh, I was watching Herzog there on that second start, and he was making a very, very tight line on the outside actually work, really challenging Honeycutt for position on the road, getting super, super tight. He can easily go for it again. He's already gained 4 places on the start. I think he's got the pace to push even harder here.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and we'll see what happens. Let's actually ride on board with Mr. James Honeycutt here for a brief moment, if we can, and kind of give you an idea of just the angle of the track. Even though we're about to go green, we won't stay here for long. But you can kind of see how the track angles, and you're just always leaning a little bit into it. But this car isn't like most of your stock cars that have that bit of a bias built in to go. And Honeycutt with a poor restart there, actually. Herzog might get him on the outside out of 1 and 2 here. And I see Corey in the background trying to make a move on Mr. Ben Harkham if he can make that stick. But yeah, no, these cars, like, most of the time when you see a stock car, it has a little bit of lean into it to kind of encourage you to keep that turn in. These are very central and very straight. It's a very unique car to drive and get comfortable with. And we see here that McClendon is trying to chase down Honeycutt up in the front. Herzog with Gresh been a little bit of a gap starting to form around the front. 0.7 of a second as they go through Herzog Gresh. This is going to be Herzog trying to make the outside work. It's kind of...
Herzog's been making this work for every restart, and he's doing it again. He's really scaring people and running them close. He's a real threat here. And he is making this outside work super well. It's now his 6th position gained off his start. Running side by side, he could easily take this P2.
Yeah, he's looking really good. He just needs to clear Gresh, which he has. I think Gresh might just be giving him a second here to let it go as we go around. Now we come through. Really what's catching my eye back in the background is Honeycutt here under pressure by Steve McClendon. And Steve McClendon right up the rear bumper of one Mr. James Honeycutt, who is just trying to kind of hold him behind, trying to keep things nice and smooth and consistent. He's doing a fairly good job at it as we go another lap around here. 26 of 135 ticked off already, and here we go to the outside as look at McClendon. Can he make it stick is the question.
Oh, I'm starting to see more and more drivers make this line work. I think it's going to get better as the race goes on. It's going to get grippier and grippier. Honeycutt really could make this work. I think Gertz on this inside is dropping back and back. Maybe he's just playing it safe on the tyres, though. Maybe he's just trying to play a long game here. Or maybe there's something up with the pace here, and more people are now going to take that opportunity because people behind have just seen 2 people pull this in a row.
Yeah, it could be that drivers are figuring out that maybe the inside traditional sort of, traditional short track line isn't how you want to go. Let's jump on board with one Mr. Al Corey for a moment. I see him taking a slightly alternate line. Let's jump on board with him for a minute and see what he's running here compared to that car ahead of him, which of course is one Mr. Matt Parasini. And you see here, he is taking a little bit more of that line, but I have seen him venturing up high here a bit more, trying to do a bit more, and you see how much he's working that wheel in as we go around, and he's trying to stay comfortable with the car ahead. He's got a slightly different exit off of 4 though. I do notice that, but you can see how much higher Parasini is staying to Honeycutt through 1 and 2 than he is through 3 and 4.
I've seen Parasini get twitchy a few times on corner exits. I've seen him he's definitely not quite running the full inside. He's sort of half a lane up sometimes. That could give space, potentially, if he makes a bigger mistake. Al Corey is the sort of person that would strike.
Yeah, especially, again, Al coming off that win Sunday. He's going to be looking for another one if he can make it work, and at the moment, he's currently 3.3 seconds back from our race leader, Brad Kress. And if you're wondering what 3.3 seconds looks like, well, this is them going into 3. This is our race leader coming out of 4. That's how quick these laps are going around here. And, with laps moving that quick, you don't have a lot of time. And as soon as we cut that around, Al Corey up the inside of Mr. Matt Parasini, and Parasini has to give the position. He's going to settle in the Director of International Affairs there for the Corgi Airstrike Corporation, which is something that you do not know about, my friend. We'll have to educate you off stream, Howie, about the Corgi Airstrike Corps.
There's a lot of lore, there's a lot of backstory in this community. I've only just been, ankle deep for a few days, and I've already found out about 20,000 different things. So it's good to know that we even have Corgi Airstrikes.
Yeah, you've got international affairs, you've got the Corgi himself, you've got a voice of the Corgis that exist. There's plenty of things with the Corgi Airstrikes, but just remember, you never know when they're gonna strike. They strike sometimes. And as you can see right now, they're not striking because Matt Parasini is sitting behind Al Corey and still hasn't made a move. Look at him, he's still thinking about getting a front nose in there, but just not close enough. I think Al has actually kind of stepped it up. I think he knows he's losing time here. Behind Honeycutt, he wants to get that pass done, and he seems to get a little more feisty here as the run's going.
Yeah, Honeycutt definitely is holding up this pack a little bit, but getting a pass done here, I think you have to be very, very brave, or you have to know you're very, very fast to take it to the outside. Honeycutt's running that sort of half a lane off the bottom line. That means you can't really take him on the inside without risking too much, but you can't really go on the outside without losing pace. It's the perfect defensive line to run here, but eventually I think someone's going to get impatient, someone's going to want that position, and it could all kick off.
I would agree with that, and that is the big thing with anyone who has short track experience here in iRacing. You know it goes one of two ways. You be nice and patient for a good long time, and you lose track position and you lose an opportunity for a better win, or you get a little too aggressive and someone's feelings get hurt, and then you make a move and something doesn't work and you ruin your entire race. Things can go a number of ways, and I'll tell you what's really going a number of ways here. Kyle Gresh has finally started to make a move back on Herzog, and Herzog looking up the outside. Kyle Gresh wants the inside line. Let's see if there's anything we can learn from these two that Al Corey can kind of make work, because look behind them, they have Steve McClendon in the house as well, who is going to be looking to try to get a little bit of a pass in as well if he can.
Crash has been so consistent in this clear air up front. He's made good starts, he's made good restarts. He's not too scared, I don't think, of anything that's going to happen. You could throw more cautions, and I think he's got the cool head to make this work. There are potentially 2 championship places on the line if he absolutely blitzes the other two around him. So he's got no fear, and he wants to see these two battling each other. Gretsch is just here for glory. Gretsch is just here for the performance, for his own record, but he's ready to fight for it.
And here we go, Al Corey up the inside of James Honeycutt, a move that's been like 15 laps in the making now. And can Matt Parasini just follow him on around? I think that is the question, and I think the answer is no. Matt Parasini not able to follow Al Corey down the inside. Typically, if you got drivers close like that, one gets the inside, the other one goes right on through, not able to make that work. Further back here, you got Mr. Ben Harcum in the background with JC John Campbell and Naj Crutchley, and of course Mr. Matt Harmon there. This is a little 4-car battle that's opened up, and Matt Harmon getting passed by Mr. Krispy Kreme himself, JC John Campbell, and there's what I was talking about. Naj Crutchley follows through, and so does Ben Harcum. So those three following each other around as it stands. Let's jump back in the back here, because Herzog is still holding off Gresh. Herzog is going to actually spin it out there out of 4. He catches it and gets back around, but Kyle Gresh, this is his opportunity. Get this run up the inside if he can. And of course, Steve McClendon wants to follow him through as well. Can he follow him through? He's going to try it here into 1 and 2.
Sometimes you just got to use a car like that in order to get yourself around the corner if he's getting loose. But Herzog, he must have really cooked up those tyres with that getting loose, because he's all of a sudden lost all that pace. It's fallen off a cliff. Going to be running side by side for a few corners, but he's pinned to the outside, and he's been making the outside work better than most. But with that tyre temps, it could take a little bit of time to start working for him.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing with these cars. You got to drive them. You got to drive the wheels off of them, but you got to keep the wheels on them at the same time. It's a very, very big ask for anything that could happen here, but in the end, it is, of course, going to be Kyle Gresh, but they're 1.9 seconds back from Brad Kress. Brad Kress just trying to cruise into the sunset here. Steve McClendon looking for a move up the inside. I thought he was going to put the front bumper to him, just a little bump and run. Something you learn from short tracks. He didn't do it. He's not going to do it. He's really trying to avoid it, actually. And there's Herzog with another snap off of 2. And now, Mr. McClendon up the inside, and Herzog just cedes the position. I don't even think Herzog tried to fight that.
I think he did unsteady them with a few taps, and this is what it looked like to me. No real huge, scary bump to push him up a lane, but certainly a little bit of a get out of the way or I'm going to start making it happen sort of move. Really falling back now after such a good start.
Yeah, and it's kind of unfortunate to see. We'll see if he can sort of recover through at all and get his way back forward. Looking at everything, everyone hasn't lost a lot of pace relative. So 15.2s, 15.3s, the best time for most people, and everyone's running consistent 15.8s, 15.9s right now. I do see it looks like Matt Parasini actually into the 16.1 was his last time, and so we're starting to see that happen for a few guys as they go through. And here is Kyle Gresh getting his way around Jason Benson. Jason Benson now a lap down, and you see what Jason's doing. He's just hugging the high line. He's saying, you know what, guys, just get around me. I want no part of this. He's doing the honorable blue flag rule, and if James Parfit was here, he'd be very proud.
Indeed, I think he knows if he's the only one that falls behind and there's going to be another mistake, he may as well just get his lap back down the line. But he's definitely a bit slow on the pace than the others right now. Still lots of opportunities to hustle and get back in, especially if there's more caution. But this pack has died down. Hey, maybe I have the curse. All right, it's built into me. There's the third caution right as I say the line.
Yeah, I'm going to ban you from saying the C word, caution, for the rest of the night. That's what I'm going to do. And why did we have a caution? Well, Mr. International Affairs sends it around through 4 brakes. No, he just hits a wall. That's actually... Oh! That's actually worse than a brakes traction. He slams the wall, totals the car, and that is your one faster pair of the night. Gone, done, and dusted, Mr. Matt Parasini.
Well, from when I've been driving short track racing, what I've found is that you just have to be like dialed in and consistent, because if you make one mistake, there is only a big wall. That is one way of getting to your pit box. I mean, is anyone really going to question the league admin? What are we?
I mean, guess we can do that. Him.
Put him in.
What was that? Did he just forget where his pit box was? What is?
He's not going to get the countdown.
What were you doing? Did he just throw a whole pit stop away? What just happened?
Can't park there, mate. Can't park there. Now he's going to need to go back around, and he still wants the pit stop, so he's going to have to go in and actually change his tyres. I mean, maybe it's just a handicap. Maybe Corey's playing 5D chess, and he's going to be back later. I'm going to need some questions asked about that.
I mean, I don't know. There's Matt Parasini in. Looks like some guys are in, some guys are out. Who has the lead right now? Well, it is on the leaderboard. It says Kyle Gresh. You see a couple of cars in front of him, though. No big to-dos there, but yeah, no, that's a... What did Al just... The next caution we get, if we get another one, we're pulling Al Corey, and the first thing I'm going to say is, did you practice pit stops?
I mean, like, maybe Hickory lets you do them backwards, and that's just like he did the studying before the event. I mean, there's lots of possibilities that could be outside of my giant brain.
That is possible. I mean, it's a good question. I don't have a good answer here, but we're 1 to green, so I'm not going to get my answer this time. We'll see what we can do here. Man, 3 cautions, 63 laps in. The guys are doing not bad. We might be on pace. 4 or 5, but we come around, we'll get the green flag, and it is Kyle Gresh in the lead. He gets the jump. Naj Crutchley and Honeycutt, P2, P3, P4, P5, Herzog, Brad Kress there that you see behind on the high line in the Hooters car is, of course, going to be our friend Brad Kress. Can he make something stick here? They're 2x2 coming out of turn 4, and really it's 3 on the inside to that. I don't know how you want to call that, but they come around. They're going to start trying to find single file. Don't take it 3 wide, and we will continue on lap 65 of 135 in the books.
Press lost his huge lead on pit road, and now he's back in the mud, back with the drivers, and Gresh has the getaway. And what a getaway, by the way! Almost 0.8 of a second on the first lap. Everyone else can just fight among themselves. Gresh is going to take the one-off ringer win.
He's doing a really good run. Kyle Gresh will run away with it if he can. We jump back up to the front here of Herzog getting a run. Honeycutt and McClendon, these two know how to battle, and these two are very good SRX drivers. And there we go with McClendon getting the lead on one Mr. James Honeycutt. We'll see if he can hold it here, as Brad Kress is also going to want to take a peek up the inside. I don't see that one working out, but doggone, he's going to try here as we continue around lap 68 of 135 on the books. Again, lap's only about 15-16 seconds a lap, so we'll see how things continue on here as it goes, but everybody seems like they've found that single file. Yes, I said single file. Don't question my English, please. As we continue around here, and at this point, Brad Kress, Honeycutt trying to find it. Everybody's starting to open up a little bit of a gap here, and I think they're just going to settle into a rhythm for a minute. And of course, I say that, and I look back, and I see Matt Harmon, who is right on the rear end of Al Corey.
One thing worth noting that I'm spotting from some of the data here is that Jason Benson didn't take a pit stop. He's the only one that didn't, riding around the back looking for something else to happen. I won't say it quite yet, but you know what I mean. You know, it's all in the subtlety.
Yeah, I won't say it either, because now I'm scared that I'll say it and it'll happen. But as we see here, McClendon and Kress and Honeycutt, forgive me, as they come around, they have gotten very good. And who has lost all of his pace off the restart? Kyle Gresh, because who is that to the right-hand side? That's that beat-up junker of number 57, Mr. Mark Herzog. Steve McClendon there, not too far off either. We're getting ready to have a big old battle open up as we continue through. Cress Honeycutt Campbell also in a quick 3-car battle a little bit further back. Plenty of battles to keep your eyes on through the field as it happens. And of course, now you have Matt Harmon getting past Naj, and we'll keep our eyes on this front battle for just a moment, because I think Herzog is going to find his way through here very, very quickly if Kyle Gresh can't defend it.
Herzog's been one of the most impressive drivers today, and he loves the outside. He doesn't care if you force him there. He's been making it work consistently with the pace over and over. Gresh is running that defensive line off the bottom. Just, you want to try and cover off people that are going to try and make the move, but Herzog's the sort of driver here who I think is going to make that move the moment it's opened up. It may look like a beater, but maybe it's the fastest one here.
I mean, isn't that usually how that works, though? As Kyle Gresh taps the wall. Yeah, if you've ever gone to your local short track, usually they tell you the car to look for is the one that cosmetically doesn't look the best, because usually under the hood that thing is a beast. Or at least that's what I've been told, and that's what I like to think about my personal car when it's getting ready to start doing track days. But yeah, I don't know. You never know, but Herzog does look good here in pace-wise, especially when you've got Steve McClendon breathing down your neck like that. I mean, you've got to be on your P's and Q's, and Herzog is doing a very, very good job of that at the moment.
Crest still doing the best out of these championship contenders, still hanging it out right there. The other two seem to have fallen back a little bit. He's not quite in striking position now, but he is in, one mistake, one silly moment, and I'm back in it sort of territory, whereas the others have fallen several seconds behind him in the gap. He's keeping exactly the pace he wants to right now, and not a moment over.
Yeah, and that would be, big slide there from Steve McClendon on the exit of 4, but I mean, that would be my goal, is just to stay within sort of, dart throwing distance, or whatever you want to phrase that. I would just want to be close enough that if anything comes up, I can take advantage of it. And that's really all you got to do right now in short track. 81 of 135 laps here. And now Jason Benson's in the mix, as Jason Benson holds that high line, is trying to stay out of the way. And this is going to mix things up for a moment here as they go through.
2 drivers are lapped down now, Benson and Pericini. So Benson would be in line for the free pass, and if he hasn't taken tyres and something happens, who knows, whatever that could be, then he's in a perfect position to start striking again, actually. I think he's playing a real long game on the strategy.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't think we're out of the woods on cautions yet. I'll say the word. It's fine. I don't think we're out of the woods on cautions yet. We'll see what happens, as I do see Pericini getting a pass on Benson there in the background, and I really like this blimp cam on short track, so we're going to hold on to this for a second. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat with us today here. Mookie Blaylock says, my money is on Al winning and 5 cautions. Well, caution number 4 just came out because I said a word, so, and my guess is it's Mr. Matt Harmon there that we're seeing that caused the caution respectively. Let's see what Matt Harmon did, and traction off of 2. Spins, rolls back on the racing surface, and that's why iRacing threw the caution.
I think Pericini has actually gotten the free pass here. Jason Benson's the only one that hasn't stopped. He's going to stop. He's going to do it. But I think that actually, if Harmon spun, I'm not sure if he gets the free pass. It doesn't like to give the people who caused incidents. So if that's Pericini, then that last sort of lunge at the very end was an absolute masterstroke. And now Benson's been sort of left out to dry. No tyres, needs to stop, already a lap down. Gotta just hope and pray for something to happen. Gotta just hope and pray. I don't think the rest will really be taking tyres. Corey and Crutchley are doing it. And should we ask Corey about that pit entry while we're here?
We can, but I'm going to actually pull up our race sponsor here for a moment. Matt Harmon, it is going to be Brad and Mr. Howie in the booth. How you copy?
Doing good, guys. How are y'all?
We are good. First off, shout out to you for sponsoring today's race. Second off, how is the car feeling?
That turn right there was real loose.
Everyone's saying it was tight, and then all of a sudden I hear everyone saying it's loose. So, is it just the car kind of snapping out of nowhere? What is it?
I think what it is, a lot of people took 2 tires on that last pit stop, so it's starting to loosen the car up, which makes it better to drive, easier to drive and get around the turns, but then you got to be careful putting the power down, so.
Fair enough. As we go through here, of course, this is the Resurrection, the worst kept secret in triple bypass history. Of course, last race in the SRX, if you didn't know that, well, this is me officially telling you. How excited are you?
I'm sad SRX didn't get another chance at another season, but at the same time, I'm super excited to bring the late models back. They're such a fun car. I'm just looking forward to another season. Glad that I could be part of the admin for this Tuesday night race.
Absolutely. And Matt, we're going to drop you back down so you can go green. Good luck, man.
Appreciate it.
And just in time, like a professional, we get him back in, and we go green here with Kyle Gresh, Mark Herzog up at the front with McClendon and Kress. Where have we seen this in Honeycutt and P5?
Herzog's doing it. Herzog's made it work around the outside. Yet again, the king of the outside. He's taken his P1. I'm looking at Kress, though, challenging for the same. Could be Gretsch dropping back here. This is going to be such a close battle for a couple laps until it settles down.
Yeah, this is going to keep going for a few moments here, and we watch as Kress is really, really trying to find the move. And you see back in the background, Al Corey might be forcing it 3 wide. Ooh, Al Corey, what were you thinking there trying to get between Harcum and JC John Campbell? And Corey just wants his way around Harcum. He's going to force his way around the outside. He gets that move done. Further up the field here, Herzog is ahead of Gresh with McClendon now right on the back. Kress is there, Honeycutt's there, and I'll tell you what, if Al can force his way around John Campbell, we are going to have one heck of a race on our hands, as I see 6 drivers that could all be competing for a race win here tonight.
Al's on fresh tyres. He's going to be just a little bit faster than those around him. We've said the drop-off isn't huge here, but every percent means something, and he's going to have that pace, and he's going to push like an absolute animal for it, because he's just given up so much track position or short track to make it happen. You don't do that unless you really want some rewards out of it.
Yeah, and Al is the type of driver that can do the math and make the math work here, so we'll see if he can find the advantage of those fresh tires here as we continue around lap 95 of 135 now on the books. And if someone can do math more than me, you can tell me that we have about 40 laps to go here as we continue around. So we'll see how these final 40 laps sort of stack up.
About 40 plus or minus 1 is about the best math you can get from this commentary booth. I'm saying from my perspective, that's the best you're going to get from me. Maybe it's the same for you.
I mean, that's better than I could get. I had to guesstimate it and then just sort of fingers crossed that nobody in YouTube chat was going to yell at me. So the general rule that I go with is if I'm wrong, YouTube chat tells me, and we kind of stick with it. Back in the background, Al Corey has gotten past JC John Campbell. Up here in the front, McClendon's trying to make a move on Kyle Gresh, and it doesn't look like he's been able to make this move stick so far. He's trying. Doggone it, you got to give him an A for effort. He's trying, but he's just not making it stick. Al Corey yet again in the background around the inside of Honeycutt. Al Corey, you are on fire, sir.
Corey is so back. It's going to be between him and Kress to really determine who gets that third place. And I mean, there's nothing more prestigious than third place in a triple bypass league. I mean, quite frankly, it's more important than winning the championship itself. But I love it when there's a little something on the line for them, and I really want to see these two fight out for it. Corey still has the fresh rubber. He's still got that aggression, but Kress has been very impressive with his driving all racing. It's been very impressive with his pace management, and he could end up punching it up ahead as well. There's still so much open here in at least the top 6.
Yeah, plenty of time left to go, and caution is out. And why is this caution out? Well, ladies and gentlemen,
the celebrate. We didn't say it. We didn't cause that one.
We did
the
not.
curse is lifted.
The Corgi Corporation is here again. Now, you look at that and you say, well, why was that a caution? Let me go back and I'm going to explain a little bit of the inner workings of iRacing. So iRacing has a couple of dynamics they look for when they go to throw the caution. One of them is a car more than 50% away from the racing line, more than a 90-degree angle? Right there, Matt Parasini has crossed that 90-degree angle. Spot number 2, are they on the racing line? Spot number 3, as a car drove by him. He was on the racing surface, and what happened? Mr. Matt Harmon drove past him. So
that's actually really good to know. Wow.
Yeah, that's I hear drivers all the time kind of get mad and be like, oh, it's a single car spin, why is it a caution? Well, iRacing is of course a software, and it has certain parameters it's going to look for, and when those parameters are hit, it just does what it does. And unfortunately for us, that means caution number 5 on the night with 30 laps to go.
a lot of people don't necessarily track the whole part about it being the racing surface. I've seen some absolute madness. If you ever enter C6, you know there's madness in iRacing. And you see the madness happen on the infield, and you think no caution. But once you get used to it, you know how it works. You can just sort of think, that's not going to be a caution. Go like hell. So once you know the parameters, you can game them a little bit. But anything for iRacing, what can I say? But in these lobbies where there's a little bit less on the line, it's still fun and important to know what's going to happen and what's not. At least they can be better than NASCAR officials at throwing cautions. You've got to give them that to them.
I mean, honestly, anything's better than iRacing officials and F1 stewards. I feel like or the NASCAR officials and F1 stewards, I feel like you get those two in a room, and you're pretty much set for the world to end. It'd be like having any sort of American politics on board. Anyways,
that sounds great.
Getting back to racing action here on the JP Broadcasting Network, and if you like those jokes and you want more, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and ring the bell. All the things you can do to support us for free, because we like to bring the funnies around here every once in a while. And of course, the sultry, soothy voice of Mr. James Parfit will be back, the namesake of this channel. I'm sure he's actually getting sleep tonight. That's something that he needs every once in a while, apparently. So I'm sure he'll watch this back later, though. We're green yet again here.
And Herzog gets a good start here. McLendon doesn't get that first chance at sending it, but it looks like he might leave that outside line a little bit open. Lots of battles evolving behind. Corey still in striking distance of Crest. That's going to be the story as it continues to unfold over this about 25 laps. 27 to go.
Yeah, 27 to go here, and look at this in the background. Mr. Kyle Gresh really trying to hold on to that high line against Honeycutt. He taps Honeycutt. Honeycutt's going to spin. There's tap between JC John Campbell. Jason bits into the background. And caution number 6 thrown. Let's get another replay of that really quick if we can. Honeycutt's around. And what's their contact is my question. Let's go to the blimp cam here, because that's going to be... Yeah,
that's
and then Jason just goes right under him.
I mean, if you're in last, someone like Jason, you might as well... Did he take the fast repair? I don't think he took the fast repair. I don't remember who wiped out quite earlier on, but... you know, you got the fast repair, might as well take them at this point, and why not take more fresh rubber at this point? Just keep taking for... Actually, there are 2 tyres. I forget there are 2 tyres. Some drivers might actually be running out at this point, of course.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that everyone's on their last set of tires as it stands. Kyle Gresh going around. He's pit 3 times, and it looks like his last pit was on lap 104 here. And we are...
Interesting. The top haven't pitted more than once. Herzog, McLendon, and Brad Crest, all on only 1 successful stop, it looks like to me. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Nope, you are right with that. And then Al Corey is the first driver to have 2 stops. But of course, we saw what happened to Al Corey on his first stop, so it kind of doesn't surprise me that we saw that.
Made that 3 stops. 2 forward, 1 backwards. I don't think he got serviced on that backwards one.
No, yeah, 2 forward, 1 backward. You're not incorrect with that. That is for sure. We pace around. 24 to go here in the Resurrection 135 here on Tuesday night SRX series in Triple Bypass. And of course, remember, there is 5 nights of racing with Triple Bypass. As we know, Tuesday nights will be late models yet again. And then, of course, Sundays is Gen 4s, which are an absolute handful. Thursday nights, Xfinity. Friday nights, road racing. And Wednesday nights, road racing as well. So if you're interested in joining, be sure to check out Triple Bypass. Join the Discord, join the league here on iRacing, and get yourself involved in any of the 5 nights of racing. They've been nice enough to let me race with them on non-broadcast weeks. I've gotten to jump in and run around with these guys on the track a little bit. And let me tell you, I remember why I stay in the booth when I race with these guys.
Don't be surprised if you see me running those Gen 4s in a few weeks and you get very confused. I'm not great, but they are the most fun thing that I could ever drive. We're on 6 cautions. I think that was your prediction. I called 7, chat called 8. I know that for sure. So now it's all on the line now for us. This is glory. You get 1 more chance in the season to get this right or wrong as we go into the restart.
Yeah, we go back green here. We'll see who goes down in the blaze of glory and who finds victory lane tonight. Mark Herzog there in the lead. Steve McClendon trying to go high and on the inside. Brad Crest, look at Al Corey and P4 and JC John Campbell in the background. Spins it off of turn 2. Caution number 7 on the night right away. And there's an old saying we have here, and it's cautions breed cautions. And, well, I hate to say it, I think that's kind of where we're starting to get to, and I hate to do this way, ladies and gentlemen, but I need to see if there was any contact there that helped JC around, or if that was just a solo spin. We'll take one more run there. I don't think there was contact.
Probably a tiny bit. It looked like a tiny bit, but it might not have actually been the thing that turned him.
Yeah, I don't...
Got turned.
See, this is one of the things with iRacing I wish they would fix. You can have those tiny moments like that in real life would be nothing, and unfortunately in iRacing it sends your car a whole different direction.
The speed of light, unfortunately, cannot be beaten. It's a universal constant of online gaming, but I like blaming the speed of light for my netcode problems. It's a great way to sort of distract from my own issues. Just make me forget about them for a moment. Caution number 7. I'm on the money now, where our 10 is on 8, so I think it could happen if we get something else like that on the start.
It is possible. That's the thing, is cautions breed cautions. Everybody starts getting antsy. They're trying to get the throttle down. And then all of a sudden, what do we have? An absolute kaboom that is happening. And it ends up crazy. However, Hickory is still in 4th place. So what does that mean? Hickory could still have a chance to win it here as we go. Don't count him out on a podium for this race as it stands.
Also, just as I mentioned at the very start of the broadcast, McLendon's our season champion, and he definitely will be in this position. I won't even go and try and do the maths, but he still hasn't claimed a race win. And what is it like being a race champion about a win? Well, I'm sure he'd love to try and claim that at the very end of the season and prove that he's not just a consistent pony, but he's a winning pony. But Herzog has started from 8th on the grid. He's pushed his way up. He's been the most impressive driver of the night for me. Kress wants a lot, Corey wants a lot. All the top players are really in this top 4 together. So it's going to be absolutely wild as drivers push for this. It's going to be around 15 to go when we come back around, I believe.
Yeah, and we have hit the point where it looks like single file restarts have been called. And what does that mean for us? Well, it means that everyone said we want to get this race gone and over with. So you're going to go single file all the way through, and we'll see if the field bunches up on the race restart. Let's jump up front here. Herzog, McClendon, Kress, Corey bring us to the line, and they are going to get away here. Herzog very quickly getting away there in that number 57. Steve McClendon not leaving him too much room. Al Corey there getting a little bit loose on the exit of 2, and Kyle Gresh getting very, very close here early on, but they get away here single file, nice and pretty, nothing too crazy, and that's what the single file restart is designed to do.
Sometimes safety breeds doing the sensible thing, even if it's not going to be quite as fun. Herzog's been the most aggressive driver in this whole race. He's been the best pace setter, so getting past him is going to be a challenge, especially if you're only single file behind. You're really going to have to make some bold moves work, and really going to have to use pace to your advantage here. But I mean, drivers are going to get antsy with little time remaining. I'm really looking forward to seeing if someone goes for it.
Yeah, and that's going to be, I think, the biggest situation is, does somebody decide to go for it? And, well, Herzog is already taken off here. We're 12 to go, and look at this. Brad Kress trying to go up the inside of Steve McClendon. He's going to force the subject and try to just make the pass happen, and McClendon sees it coming into 1 and 2 and just shuts the nose down, says, no, you stay behind for another minute. And now, who is that brought into the fray but none other than Al Corey, Kyle Gresh, and Mr. James Honeycutt himself. Oh, Kyle Gresh with a big loose.
Oh, I need to know what caused that. It was something completely different. There was nothing to do with that contact. We lose the Dunkin' Donuts car again. It's been a bit of a string of this happening now a couple of times in a row, but these... Oh, he spins it in so deep. You got to try for these things, but sometimes you sort of get it for making a move like that.
I think he thought Benson was going to stay higher up, because Benson, of course, has been laps down time after time. So I think he thought Benson was a lap down and was going to stay high, and he just thought he could get the pass done. And then Benson, of course, that was a race for position and runs the line, and, well, 2 can't go into 1, and you have what you have. Caution number 8 on the night. Who was that in YouTube chat that said 8? It was weird 10. Well, you said 8, and if we don't get another, you win the prize. What is the prize? It is just me saying that you were right on the number of cautions.
Great prize. It's a great prize.
Congratulations.
I'd be honored. So these top 3, have another tyre set to take. It's clear they're not going to do it. It's clear that track position means everything. Obviously, it's going to be, Now, it's going to be about 5 to go when they come out, so I don't think anyone will willingly give it up. But Hickory behind will have the freshest rubber going into this restart. McGlendon looking for his first win. Herzog looking for an amazing 8th place comeback from the start. And Cress and Corey looking for their 3rd place on the championship. So much to play for still. So much to look forward to.
So, and for viewers at home who are wondering, if Hickory finishes ahead of Brad Cress, he gets P3 in the championship. If Brad Cress finishes ahead of Hickory, he gets P3 in the championship. So it is really all dialed down here at this point. We'll see how this ends. And of course, Harcum has kind of set himself up in a problematic position, I'll say, as he is not in a very good place here. We are going to be coming around. I believe this will be our 2 to green as it stands. So not quite a green-white checkered, but it's going to feel like one as fast as these laps go.
15 seconds is over in a heartbeat. You see the number 135 laps and you think I'm in for a marathon, but it's only been 42 minutes. We're going to be hitting around 45, 50 by the end. Looks like we're going double file.
Oh, give them a show. It's the season finale. You have to give it a show here. I do not blame them a bit. We'll get this way around here and we'll call it down. 4 to go as they cross the line, and it'll be a very, very quick run. Here we go. It is going to be Mr. Herzog on the inside. Steve McClendon there to the outside. Steve McClendon's going to try to get a run quick. He's not able to, and who is that in the background? Well, it's Hickory, who's going to run high here. Try to hold off Kyle Gretsch. Kyle Gretsch wants to force the low line around, and he clear him is the question, and Corey knows he needs to get around Cress. He needs to get around Cress for the championship, but I think he's going to lose the position to Kyle Gretsch and taps the wall off, and that is going to be that now. 3 to go, and the question really becomes McClendon and Herzog.
And Cress just behind. I think Herzog might just get away with this. He's been making this run work so long. The wall again for Corey. He is just running it so wide right now.
He's trying everything he can. It's going to be white flag as they cross the line. Corey's going to go very, very aggressive around. Look at this. Brad Cress and Steve McClendon go side by side. White flag on the field as we go through. Mark Herzog in the lead. And it is, of course, Brad Cress now in 2nd place. McClendon has one chance to try to get the pass done. Brad Cress is going to bring it around, but Herzog, flawless on the day. He might be driving what looks like a rust bucket, but doggone if he's not fast. Winner, Mark Herzog here in the Resurrection 135. And it is, in the end, Brad Cress, Steve McClendon, Honeycutt, Kyle Gretsch, and Hickory finishes 6th. They wreck it off the checkered flag. Let's go back and see if we can't see what happened off the checkered flag. I missed something here, and let's see if we can't find it here.
Anything over the line is permissible. Oh, going loose off into turn 4. I mean, that's really unlucky to be the driver behind there, but at least they all made it across without anyone quite exploding on the spot. He's going to the pits backwards again. I saw that.
Yeah, and that number 27 to the outside is Kyle Gretsch. Kyle Gretsch there loses it, comes around, and Hickory can't see anything, but he loses positions in the mix. And I think, unfortunately for Hickory, that also could be a championship problem for him.
I'm gonna do my best to work out the championship permutation from here once I have the final results.
And Mark Herzog doing his victory lap backwards here, as he should. Again, the car that looks rough, always going to be fast, and you should fear it. And, well, Herzog proving the point. He's going to burn the house down really quick. Give me a show, Mark Herzog. You deserve it. Or don't. Come on.
He was the most impressive driver of the day for me. He was making it stick to the outside when no one else did. He's made up so many places to get here. And then as soon as it started mattering, he was just pedal to the metal. Incredible first place pace. So I was really impressed by him from the start. I noticed him from the start, and he's made a glorious win here. What an excellent drive.
Absolutely. And let's get your official results up here tonight for the season finale here of the Resurrection 135. The SRX is sponsored by your man Matt Harmon here, and it was Mark Herzog who brings around the win. Brad Cress in 2nd place, getting that final pass on Steve McClendon off of the last restart. James Honeycutt in 4th, Kyle Gretsch in 5th, costing Hickory a couple of positions. Hickory down into 6th place off of that race restart. He finished underneath Kyle Gretsch, if you want to count that for anything. Naj Crutchley in P7 there in the number 48. and Jason Benson in 8th place. Ben Harcum in P9. Matt Harmon, tonight's race sponsor, finds himself in a cool P10 just on the back of this pack. JC John Campbell, P11. Matt Parasini down 35 laps after a couple of accidents tonight. And of course, Mr. Sean Bradley down 96 laps on the night. But with that being said, let's go ahead and find us a few people to interview. And I'll tell you, we should probably start with Mark Herzog, our race winner. Mark Herzog, it's going to be Brad and Howie in the booth. How you copy?
Not too bad. How you guys doing tonight?
Not bad at all. Mark, you won it in dominating style. I said it several times. The car that looks like a rust bucket on the outside is always the one to be scared of, and it goes fast. And thank you for proving me right tonight.
I wouldn't call it dominating, but yeah, I was able to get up on the outside and get those early spots early because it's such a tight track. If you can't float it out, you really give up a lot of time on that outside car.
Well, you looked like you were having a lot of fun out there, and you were pulling gaps pretty quick. You were getting things going, but of course, the worst kept secret, best kept secret of triple bypass history. This is the last race in the SRX. We get the dream of the late models back for next season. I can't remember what driver it was that wanted the late models back, but somebody got their wish.
Yeah, I know a lot of the on-edge racing guys missed that late model when it went away. Justin Haslett was pretty darn dominant in that. I think he won half of the races that year.
He did, yeah. How do you feel about the SRX going away and the late models coming back? Do you like the SRX? Do you not like the SRX? Give me your thoughts.
If between the SRX and the late model, I'd rather have a late model. But if I have to have a late model, I'd rather have the super late model myself. But late model over SRX, super late model over late model.
All right, I respect that. And Mark, final race of the season here. Anyone you want to thank? Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go for the night?
I just need to thank all the guys at TPB that put on a really, really good, fun league. You guys for putting on a really excellent broadcast for us. And as always, I got to thank my wife for giving me a little bit of time to come out here and hang out with you guys and race some virtual race cars.
Awesome. Big shout out to the wife as always required. And Mark, big shout out to you. Congratulations on the win here at the season finale. And we will see you on track on the next one.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Before we call in someone else, now my lawyers have informed me that this is not official. There's a lot of bonus points on the line for leading laps. I have not done all of it, but it looks like Al Corey could be in for second on the championship after that finish, because Cress really, really dropped back at the very end of that race. He could have leapfrogged him on the points. I'm going to wait for that all to be calculated after the fact before saying it for sure, but it looks like it could be an Al Corey second. It was rigged the whole time.
Yeah, we'll wait on the official calculation before I call something rigged. I'm sure that typically these guys are pretty quick on bringing us around the results. But let's pull in the non-disputed position here, and that is going to be our SRX champion, Mr. Steve McClendon. And let's find him if we can and pull him up. Steve McClendon. Steve, it is Brad and Howie up here. How you doing, my friend?
Doing pretty good now that this race is over.
Steve, I have a question. You are probably the most consistent driver ever. Didn't win a single race this season, but you took the championship. How's it feel?
I mean, I guess it just goes to show that consistency is key. I mean, yeah, sure, I would have loved to win some races, but I don't know. This is my first season with them, and these cars, I feel like you kind of got to rough people up to pass them a little bit, and I wasn't willing to do that, so just figured I'd run hard, run up front, and see where it worked out.
I like it. And of course, I have to ask, as I'll ask everyone, the big announcement of the night, of course, to nobody's surprise, is this was the final race of the SRX. It's the late model coming back starting next season. For winning the one and only SRX championship to date, are you going to be racing late models next season?
No, I was talking to Al about that earlier. Like, I mean, I will run some races, but I got some family changes going on, so won't be running for points in anything, but try to be running all the broadcast races. So I'll definitely be out there, and it's not for lack of anything, but just schedule changes and not being able to make it consistently.
I mean, we all have to put real life before virtual cars sometimes. It's unfortunate to hear, but I don't think anyone can discredit you for it. And I mean, if you're going to send it off with a championship win, I can't discredit anyone for that, Steve. So I respect it. I understand it. I definitely understand it. So it happens, but we'll look forward to seeing you on the track when we can. But since you have won the championship, sir, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I just thank Matthew for putting on tonight's race, and then all the admins in here. It's like I said, it's my first year with them, and it's been refreshing to run with a bunch of good, clean dudes, and not have a lot of the drama you have in other series. So that's been nice. So just thank everybody here at Triple Bypass, and then my buddy Nathan with Catamount Solutions. I think he's listening tonight. So he's the one that keeps the internet on and keeps everything running around here. So beers flowing, things like that. So thanks to him, and then just all my other buddies out there.
Awesome, Steven. Big shout out to you, man. We look forward to seeing you on the track when we can. Take it easy, man.
All right, thanks, Bradley. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
We do have official championship results, and Harcum has taken second on 1 point. Al Corey and Brad Kress tying for the third place on 471. Unbelievable.
That's legendary. And let's pull in while we're looking at it. Of course, Steve McClendon was also P3 on the night. Let's grab Brad Kress while we're at it. Brad, it is going to be Brad and Howie in the booth. How you copy?
How y'all doing?
We're doing pretty good. I've got some news from the championship for you, and I'm going to allow my good friend here to give the answer. Howie, why don't you tell him the good news?
With the official bonus points all calculated, looks like it's a tie for third place between you and Al on 471 points. Ben Harcum 1 point ahead on P2. No one gets to go home outside the top 3.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I didn't have any idea me and Al were tied there. I said me and him going to have to duke it out to see who gets third.
I'm going to put my money on you.
I'd put my money on him.
Fair enough.
Run it back.
They can do that. I don't have time for that, but I'd respect it if they do. Brad, of course, the big news of the night. The SRX is gone, and we're going back to late models. How do you feel?
Man, I hate to see the late model or the SRXs go. I've had a lot of fun in these things.
They are fun cars, but seems like the general consensus has been the late models coming back. Do you like the late models? I mean, like, I like the late models, but also, I don't know. There's something about the SRX that is very unique to me.
You know, I haven't really drove the late model enough to really get a good feel for it. I was excited when they first came out with these SRX cars. I really wanted to race them. So when these guys started, a series in it, I was pumped about it. The late models, I'm not too sure about.
I think
I've given these cars a try. I love them. I love these cars. I've given them a try. I need to race some more, but I know they don't go official very often in iRacing. I hopped on one of the official sessions that happened like yesterday, but I'm definitely going to have to be seeking out these sessions because these things can't die. They can't die for good in iRacing.
Well, they can't get rid of them. These are too fun.
I do think that you'll like the late models too, though. If you like the SRX, I think you'll like the late model if you get into it.
Yeah, what little bit I've drove it, I mean, it's a fun car. I mean, I like racing anything. If you put wheels on anything, I like to race it. So whatever they want to do, I'm good with.
Fair enough. And Brad, last interview of the night here before we send a broadcast off. Anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, thank you all for putting on the show and Harmon for sponsoring it. And congrats to Steve on a well-deserved championship.
Awesome. And Brad, thank you. Have a good night, man. We'll see you on the track for the next one, okay?
All right, thank y'all. Have a good one.
All right, Howie. Well, that is a race done and dusted. Drivers who all seem to like the SRX, and now the late model is officially coming back for next season. We don't know exactly when the next season's going to start, but of course, if you want to find out ahead of us, be sure to check out the Triple Bypass Racing Discord. Any final thoughts, my friend?
Well, it's been my first time here with this community, and it has seemed absolutely wonderful. The driving's been great, the racing has been fun. I'm sure you'll see me again sometime, whether it's on or off the track. Who knows how that's going to happen? But don't be surprised to see me around these parts, because this has been a ton of fun. What a fantastic race!
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you for the first time here, and it's always a good time to jump in on a season finale. You get to see some of the biggest fun things, and of course, Triple ByPass will have plenty of racing coming in for their next season. We've still got some races to finish up this season. We do have Thursday night coming up, and Thursday night is back at Michigan, and it is for the Xfinity season finale. So we'll see how that one ends up. Of course, if you want to check that out, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, do all the fun things that you can do to support JP Broadcasting here for free on YouTube. But on behalf of Mr. Howie, my name is Brad. We've taken you start to finish here tonight. Be sure to join us Thursday night, where I'll be taking you start to finish. Howie, I don't think you're joining me Thursday night. I don't remember who's joining me Thursday night, but just be sure to join us Thursday night.
No immediate plans. I don't know what's what's going to happen, but you'll be with good hands no matter what, I think, and I'm sure you'll be back for more great racing.
Hey, you never know. I might throw James on the track and tell him to run it and say good luck, but either way, we'll see you on the next one. Good night.